Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Hello, and welcome back to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? Today we are going to go back into the Bravo sphere. We're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, narrowing in on two once friends, Lisa and Meredith.
The 10-year friendship that is no more. The sisters, the Bobbsey twins. Who would have thunk that this is where we are with Lisa and Meredith? With Meredith being friends with Jen and Lisa being friends with, of all people, Whitney.
Oh my goodness.
Right. It seems like you are in on Scary Island.
Oh Lord.
It's almost that crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the hot mic moment that lives on, at least in Meredith's mind, but the hot mic moment that Lisa Barlow wants to minimize, as if not totally forget. Her way of trying to move past this is to act as if she's come up with so many reasons why it happened, and none of them are justifiable. Because to spew the things that she said, it's almost as if, and I think Meredith may have said it, as if like, you hate me.
She needs a transcript of it.
To actually look at all the things you said. And she's so protective of her family. She said something, about all of them. And it's like, that is not okay. If she had just focused on lambasting Meredith,
it would have been bad,
but you talked about her husband. It
was like she had this list in her head.
Like it was built up.
Yes.
So it's like, what was real?
Yeah.
You're going over there celebrating Jewish holidays with them, but this is in your heart?
Yeah. And there were no pauses.
And it was all because Meredith would not 100% side with you, and she was able to see the sides of both her friends, you and Mary. That's what that upset was about, that she did not cling 100% to defend you and what you were saying. That's what set this off.
And ideally, when I look back on the season that led up to the hot mic, it was like in every situation just about, she would, remember when they went horseback riding?
Okay.
And Meredith was trying to get her to see that something had occurred, and she was saying how they all played a role in it. And she said, not me, not me, I didn't. And as I was watching it, I thought, okay, what happened in your childhood that you felt, were you blamed for everything as a child? And that's the reason, because the situation that she was talking about, they all played a role. But she never seems to see the role that she plays in anything.
Yeah, she wants to downplay it. There's no accountability, but she wants to hold others to account. And that's just Lisa's world. That's the world she lives in.
And I had even reasoned that if she maybe acknowledged and accepted what she did, and she maybe took that approach and owned everything, it wouldn't change anything. Because if I was on the receiving end, I would definitely feel like that's how you really feel about me.
You're not my friend.
You're really not my friend. Thank you for the apology, but we're not friends like that. We can be acquaintances, but we're not at that place that I can trust you to be in my life like that. And she would need to be okay with that.
Yeah. But she hasn't even fallen on her sword fully.
Yeah.
She's allowed a flesh wound. But this needs to be like a full through and through.
She needs to, it will be painful to accept, whoa, I messed up.
Yes.
And this is a friend that I just have to accept it's gone. This is a friendship that is over.
Yes. And there was a moment where Heather was like, as if Meredith was like punishing her too much. And it's like easy for you to say because, but then again, this is the same person that forgave Jen for saying horrible things and doing horrible things to her. So maybe in her mind, she can move past
Please
it
say
like
that again. In
her mind. Exactly.
And that's okay for her.
It is. We cannot place our whatever works for us may not work for someone else.
Absolutely.
And that is okay. So for Meredith, it was it went too far. And she's not ready to just say we're good. And she may not ever be able to say that. And that's her right to do that.
So let's break this apart now.
Okay.
Because we've got these two women, I don't know however many episodes are left with this show. How do you see this playing out?
So it's going to be interesting for the rest of the season. I think the Jen stuff and the Heather and Whitney stuff, and then if you throw in the Angie H stuff, is going to minimize how much oxygen this takes out of the room.
Okay.
Because I don't think the Lisa Meredith thing is going to take front stage. They're
going to just go to their corner.
I think so. I think they're going to coexist.
Okay.
And if they have another trip or something, if you isolate them on some occasion without others, it would come back up. But if they continue to do group things in Salt Lake City, I don't see it playing a role the way it could. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. I have a feeling that once Jen is not in the picture anymore, it's going to come up again. Especially because Whitney and Lisa have forged this friendship now, and there's a wedge between Whitney and Heather that leaves Meredith having to either, because if you remember the episode where Whitney was like, this is the first time you've come to my house.
Yes, I remember.
And that was so telling.
Yes.
Because Meredith is truly who she is. She was friends with Mary, and she was friends with Lisa, and she kind of hung out with Jen. And those were her people. She was not really a Heather or a Whitney.
Right.
Those were not her people. But now she's having to kind of make a shuffle, which I think that's why she forgave Jen. Because, and it wasn't like they had not been friends, because they were. I mean, Jen threw the party for Meredith in season 1.
But the problem that I fear that's going to happen with Lisa and Whitney. Whitney is a person, I'm not going to say she has depth, but she's looking for that.
She doesn't want surface.
Exactly.
Lisa is quite surface.
Very superficial. Yes. So at some point, I can see Whitney trying to insert these roots to have a real and true and meaningful relationship. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And unless she can do a accept it for what it is type thing,
but
and
I
don't know,
Whitney?
It's not really Whitney.
Yeah.
But
which is the
they're
reason
having to make compromises
But when
for
people,
the sake of the show.
Well, and certain people, I think, can show up with the script and do it. Mm-hmm. Other people
it's going to be hard for her.
It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be hard
Which
for
is
her.
the reason I think Meredith and Lisa were able to have a relationship for as long as they did, because Meredith
didn't require it.
Exactly.
She didn't require it.
No, she didn't.
And that was how she was able to be friends with Mary.
Yes.
Yes, she didn't.
Yes.
She did not require it.
Right.
And she doesn't want you to expect it of her. Because she's not giving that to you. She does that more in her family scenes,
I can
but
see that.
not with the friendship stuff. She really doesn't.
So it sounds like we're saying the Lisa Meredith friendship is done. It's over.
It will never be what it was. And I believe they will coexist on the show. But unless something tragic happens, and you don't want that to happen, but that's the kind of stuff that will shake someone to say, is it really that big of a deal when it comes to the point of somebody? So if Lisa were to have something really bad happen in her life, something where Meredith could kind of feel for her or empathize for her, and that might shake it, because that hug they had in Arizona was the realness of what Jen was facing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they got beyond themselves and were
Yeah.
able to say, like, is it really that bad?
Right.
But as soon as the moment passed, Meredith was like, yeah, you really slammed me. So yeah, it's still bad to me. Once they got back to the real world.
Do you find it odd that the person that seems to be looking at Meredith with the side eye, Heather, not giving her that pass? Like, she said she's sorry.
But
you
guess
need to
what?
move.
She's not trying to go deep with Lisa anymore.
Yeah.
She don't care.
Well, now she doesn't.
She don't care, right?
Now she doesn't. You're right.
She was.
I think she gets it.
She was, because you remember how episode 1 opens with Lisa and Heather meeting and Jen and Meredith meeting. So Lisa reached out to Heather, who was certainly never her person, to talk about, how do I mend this with Meredith?
Right.
And so and they ended last season in a decent space.
Yeah.
But that's gone now.
It's gone.
That's gone now. So I believe that Heather and Meredith, they have done things together, and I believe that they will forge something that will be it'll be surface, but they will have a friendship. Meredith will still be okay with Whitney. I don't know between this Angie K, this Angie H, who's going to be that other person that comes into the mix
that
for
is
them.
vying for that.
Right.
Crystal Snow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know who that will be, but it'll be interesting. I'm going to venture to say it would be more likely them allowing Meredith to bring somebody in, because she really wouldn't have a person per se that, because they allowed Lisa to bring in the person last year. I can't think of her name. Her name was her name Jen too?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, right.
Yes. That was Lisa's friend.
Okay,
so
right.
maybe this time, Meredith, because this other Angie K, I want to say, is she more Jen's friend or Heather's friend? I can't remember. I want to say she's Jen's friend.
I think she's Jen's friend.
Yeah, I think she's Jen's friend.
Yeah.
And then this other one, Dana or whatever, whoever the other young lady was, I want to say, and we'll see her next week, I want to say maybe she is Meredith's friend.
I don't know.
I don't know, but these other people in the mix, they're trying out. They're trying out to see who else is going to be in there. So let's get through this season. And I don't think there's going to be any major progress with Lisa and Meredith, but I think that's okay. And I'm not mad at Meredith for still being hurt. You know, that I'm not, she gets to feel however she wants to feel.
However long
it takes. That is so true. So thanks for listening. I think we have kind of done our 3-parter on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So tune in next time and we will catch up on, it might be something in the Bravo world, it could be something on pop culture, or it could be something on a political conversation. Whatever it is, just know we will share what we are thinking.